cat mysteriously steals neighbors' puppies. The reason will leave you stunned. The morning mist clung to the weathered fence posts as Jessica Thompson stood at her kitchen window, warming her hands around a steaming mug of Earl Grey tea. Her eyes traced the familiar path through her garden where Bella, their rescued Egyptian Mau, usually made her morning rounds. But lately, something had changed in their typically predictable cat's behavior. Jessica watched as Bella emerged from behind Mrs. Henderson's hydrangea bushes, her silver-spotted coat glistening with dew. The cat moved with unusual purpose, her sleek body low to the ground. But it was what followed that made Jessica nearly drop her mug. A tiny, wobbling puppy, no more than a few days old, trailing unsteadily in Bella's wake. "Mark!" Jessica called out to her husband, who was preparing for another day at his veterinary practice. "She's done it again." Mark appeared beside her, adjusting his wire-rimmed glasses. His kind face, weathered by years of treating both domestic pets and local wildlife, creased with concern. "That's the third one this week," he murmured, running a hand through his graying hair. Their 12-year-old daughter Emily rushed down the stairs, her school backpack forgotten. "Is it another puppy? Where is she taking it?" Her bright eyes, so like her mother's, sparkled with curiosity and concern. The Thompson family had moved to the quiet town of Mill Valley, Massachusetts, 2 years ago, seeking a slower pace after the bustle of Boston. Their Victorian house, with its wraparound porch and sprawling garden, had been a dream come true. But it was Bella who had truly made it home. They had found her 6 months ago, huddled beneath their porch during a particularly fierce nor'easter. The cat was pregnant and terrified, her exotic features bearing the telltale signs of an expensive breed abandoned to the elements. Despite Mark's gentle care and expertise, Bella's kittens had been stillborn, leaving her in a deep depression that had worried them all. Now, as they watched her guide another puppy toward their house, they couldn't help but wonder at the mysterious transformation in their feline friend. "She's bringing them to the sunroom," Emily observed, pressing her nose against the window glass. The sunroom had been Bella's sanctuary during her recovery, its warm rays and soft blankets providing comfort during her darkest days. Mark grabbed his medical bag. "Let me check this little one over, just like the others." The previous puppies, 2 black and 1 brown, were currently residing in a warm pen in the sunroom, being bottle-fed and monitored closely. All appeared to be from the same litter, likely only days old. As they entered the sunroom, Bella was already settling the new puppy, a tiny cream-colored bundle among its siblings. She looked up at the family with what could only be described as pride, her green-gold eyes seeming to say, "I've brought another one home." Mark knelt beside the pen, his experienced hands gentle as he examined the newest arrival. Same age as the others, slightly dehydrated but otherwise healthy. "They're Labrador mixed puppies, I'd say." He glanced at Bella, who was fastidiously grooming the cream puppy. "The question is, where is she finding them?" Emily sat cross-legged beside the pen, watching as Bella moved between the puppies with maternal attention. "She's been heading toward old Miller's property. I've seen her going that way every morning." The Miller property had been abandoned for months after old Mr. Miller passed away, his children too busy with their lives in California to deal with the estate. The Victorian mansion, once the grandest in Mill Valley, now stood in dignified decay at the edge of town, its gardens overgrown and windows darkened. Jessica wrapped her cardigan tighter around herself. "We need to find out where these puppies are coming from. Their mother must be somewhere nearby." "I'll call animal control," Mark decided, reaching for his phone. "This needs to be investigated properly." But Emily was already shaking her head. "Dad, no. What if they take the puppies away? Bella saved them. She must have had a reason." Mark gentled his voice, using the same tone he employed with worried pet owners at his clinic. "Sweetheart, if there's a mother dog out there, she needs help too. And there might be more puppies we don't know about." Jessica placed a hand on her daughter's shoulder. "Your father's right, Em, but we'll make sure everything is handled properly. These puppies won't go anywhere unless it's absolutely necessary for their health." The local animal control officer, Sarah Chun, arrived within the hour. She had worked with Mark on several cases and shared his compassionate approach to animal welfare. As she surveyed the 4 puppies in their warm pen, Bella sat regally nearby, supervising. "This is remarkable," Sarah commented, making notes on her tablet. "Cats sometimes adopt other species, but actively searching out and retrieving puppies? That's extraordinary." She looked at Bella with newfound respect. She must sense something we don't. Emily had been permitted to stay home from school, given the unusual circumstances. "Can we follow Bella? Maybe she'll lead us to where she's finding them." Sarah nodded slowly. "That's actually not a bad idea. If there are more puppies, or a mother dog in distress, we need to find them quickly." The next few hours were spent in careful preparation. Mark called his clinic to reschedule his morning appointments, while Jessica packed a bag with emergency supplies, water, blankets, and the bottle feeding kit they'd been using for the puppies. They waited by the sunroom door, watching Bella. The cat seemed to sense their intention, pacing between them and the garden with increasing urgency. Finally, she slipped through her cat flap, looking back expectantly. "She wants us to follow," Emily whispered, reaching for her mother's hand. The journey through the neighborhood was like following a silver ghost. Bella moved purposefully, pausing occasionally to ensure her human companions kept pace. They passed through Mrs. Henderson's immaculate garden, skirted the local playground, and finally approached the imposing gates of the Miller property. The mansion loomed before them, its Victorian architecture magnificent even in decay. Wisteria vines had claimed the west wall, their purple blooms adding splashes of color to the weathered brick. Bella led them around to a cellar entrance, where a broken window provided easy access for a determined cat. Sarah surveyed the opening with her flashlight. "Wait here," she instructed, retrieving tools from her vehicle. "We need to do this properly and safely." After calling for backup and ensuring the entrance was secure, Sarah led the way into the cellar, followed by Mark. Jessica and Emily waited anxiously outside with the emergency supplies, watching as Bella darted ahead of the officials with unwavering certainty. The silence was broken by Sarah's voice, tight with emotion. "Dr. Thompson, we need those supplies. Now." What they found in the cellar's corner would remain etched in their memories forever. A mother dog, severely malnourished and weak, lay on a makeshift nest of old newspapers. She was a beautiful chocolate Labrador, though her condition had obscured her breeding. Beside her was a single remaining puppy, barely moving in the dim light. Mark's professional demeanor took over as he quickly assessed the situation. The mother dog, despite her condition, managed to thump her tail weakly at their approach. Bella immediately went to her side, purring loudly, and the dog's tail wagged with more strength. "They know each other," Emily breathed, watching the interaction with wonder. Bella's been helping her. The story began to piece itself together as they worked to stabilize both mother and puppy. The dog, who they would later discover had been a beloved pet named Luna, had escaped from her negligent owners several towns over. Heavily pregnant and desperate for shelter, she had found her way into the Miller mansion's cellar through the broken window. Bella, during one of her neighborhood patrols, had discovered the dog and her newborn puppies. Recognizing that the mother was too weak to care for them properly, she had begun her remarkable rescue mission, bringing the puppies one by one to the safety of the Thompson home while staying to comfort and support Luna. The next few weeks transformed the Thompson household into an impromptu animal hospital. Luna and her remaining puppy were carefully transported to Mark's clinic for immediate care, while Bella maintained her vigilant watch over the 4 puppies in the sunroom. The story of the cat's extraordinary rescue spread through Mill Valley like wildfire, touching hearts and inspiring action. The community rallied around the unexpected family. Mrs. Henderson, a retired nurse, volunteered to help with the round-the-clock feeding schedule. The local pet store donated supplies, and even the Miller estate's caretaker, upon hearing the story, fast-tracked necessary repairs to prevent future animals from being trapped in the cellar. Luna's previous owners were located and, faced with allegations of neglect, surrendered their rights to her. As she recovered under Mark's care, her gentle nature emerged, matching the sweet temperament of her puppies. Bella visited the clinic daily, riding in the passenger seat of Mark's car with a dignity that made Emily giggle and Jessica snap countless photos. The most remarkable part of the story, however, was watching the relationship between Bella and Luna blossom. The cat who had lost her own babies had found not just purpose but friendship in helping another mother in need. Luna, in turn, seemed to understand and appreciate Bella's role in saving her children, often grooming the cat as she would one of her puppies. As spring turned to summer, the puppies grew strong and playful under the watchful eyes of both their mothers. The Thompson sunroom became a favorite gathering spot for local children, who marveled at the sight of 5 rambunctious Labrador puppies tumbling about, supervised by both a proud dog and a dignified cat. The time eventually came to find homes for the puppies, a process that Emily approached with both excitement and trepidation. "They have to go to perfect families," she insisted, creating detailed questionnaires for potential adopters. Families who understand how special they are, and special homes they found. The cream-colored puppy, named Hope, was adopted by Sarah Chin, the animal control officer who had helped rescue them. 2 of the black puppies, dubbed Shadow and Midnight, went to families in Mill Valley, ensuring regular family reunions at the local dog park. The brown puppy, Chris and Maple, found a home with Mrs. Henderson, who had fallen in love while helping with their care. The last puppy, the one found with Luna in the cellar, remained with the Thompsons. Named Miracle, he had formed such a strong bond with both Luna and Bella that separating them seemed impossible. Luna, too, had become a permanent member of the family, her gentle presence completing their household in ways they hadn't known they needed. As for Bella, her story reached far beyond the boundaries of Mill Valley. Local news stations picked up the tale, and soon national media followed. The cat who had lost her own babies, only to save another mother's children, became a symbol of hope and compassion that resonated with people around the world. The Thompsons received letters and emails from everywhere, sharing similar stories of animal heroism and unexpected bonds. Emily started a blog to document their unusual family's daily life, featuring photos of Bella grooming the growing puppies and Luna sharing her bed with the cat who had saved her babies. 1 year later, on a warm spring morning much like the day Bella had brought home the first puppy, Jessica stood at her kitchen window once again. The garden had changed. Now there was a large fenced area where Luna played with Miracle, and comfortable cat perches where Bella could supervise her extended family. The morning air rang with the sound of happy barks and occasional meows. Mark wrapped his arms around his wife's waist, following her gaze, thinking about how much has changed. Jessica leaned back against him, smiling, thinking about how much we learned from a cat who refused to let her own loss prevent her from helping others. In the garden, Bella sat regally on her favorite perch, watching as Luna and Miracle played with the visiting puppies, now grown dogs, who had returned for one of their regular reunions. The cat's whiskers twitched with satisfaction as she observed her unusual family, her green-gold eyes bright with contentment. Emily, setting up her camera to capture the gathering, paused to scratch Bella's ears. "You knew exactly what you were doing, didn't you?" she murmured. "You knew those puppies needed you, just like you needed them." The cat's purr deepened as she watched the dogs playing below. Her own loss had led her to an unexpected calling, not just as a rescuer, but as a bridge between species, a reminder that love and compassion know no bounds. The story of Bella, the cat who stole puppies to save them, became more than just a viral sensation or a heartwarming tale. It became a testament to the healing power of purpose, a reminder that sometimes the deepest wounds can lead us to our greatest contributions. In helping Luna and her puppies, Bella had not only saved them but had also found her own path to healing. As the morning sun rose higher over Mill Valley, casting long shadows across the Thompsons' garden, the unusual family continued their daily routine. Luna and Miracle romped in the grass, the visiting dogs joined in the play, and Bella maintained her watchful vigil. In the end, what had begun as a mystery, a cat stealing puppies, had transformed into something far more profound, a story of motherhood, friendship, and the boundless capacity of the heart to love beyond boundaries. And in homes across Mill Valley, for other families watched their beloved dogs grow and thrive, each carrying a piece of the miracle that had brought them together. Their dogs, Hope, Shadow, Midnight, and Maple, were living testaments to the extraordinary events that had unfolded in that abandoned cellar, and to the remarkable cat who had refused to let tragedy have the final word. The Thompsons had learned that sometimes the most powerful acts of healing come from the most unexpected sources, and that family, like love, knows no bounds of species or circumstance. As they watched their expanded family enjoy the spring morning, they knew that Bella's legacy would continue to inspire others to look beyond their own pain to help those in need, creating ripples of compassion that would extend far beyond their quiet corner of Massachusetts. For in the end, it wasn't just puppies that Bella had saved. She had saved herself, and in doing so, had reminded everyone who heard her story that sometimes the most profound acts of love come from hearts that have known the deepest loss. And in Mill Valley, where her story began, she remained a beloved reminder that heroes come in all shapes and sizes, even in the form of a silver-spotted cat with a heart big enough to mother those who needed her most. In the words Emily later wrote on her blog, which had grown to reach thousands of followers, Bella taught us that sometimes the most beautiful stories come from the darkest moments, and that love, in its purest form, knows no boundaries. She showed us that healing often comes through helping others, and that family is not defined by species, but by the bonds we forge through compassion and care. And so the story of Bella, the cat who stole puppies, became not just a tale of unusual animal behavior, but a lasting testament to the transformative power of love, the healing nature of purpose, and the extraordinary capacity of all creatures to rise above their circumstances to help others in need. In Mill Valley and beyond, her legacy continued to inspire, reminding everyone who heard her story that sometimes the most profound acts of heroism come from the most unexpected places, and that true love knows no bounds.